So this is just a very quick part 2 of the last video that I made. I'm going to make it really quick because I'm just like having a rant, really. I don't know why anyone would want to listen to it, but if they want to, they'll learn something. It certainly makes me feel better, just even if it is just talking to a screen. And I think it's good. It's good to get it out there. If it's for the rest of the world, if anyone can get anything from it, it's good. But like I was saying, so my sister, my transgender sister, so following from, because it cut out because of my memory, because of all these videos. I've got so many YouTube videos that are in my backup thing on my laptop. So that's why it cut out at the point when I was saying that it would help. I think it would help my transgender sister if she knew about my school friend, because I knew that it was to do with her mother. Okay, and if you get to the root, you'll find that every mental health issue has a root. And John Alexander Patterson, who Sussex Police, when he went to Scotland Yard with these legalese documents he showed me to do with the deep state, and they shoved him in there. Sussex Police were out of their jurisdiction. They kidnapped him outside the Royal Courts of Justice from London, blue lights flashing van, all the way to Eastbourne Psychiatric Unit. And I've met victims of human trafficking, satanic ritual abuse, and he was exposing fraud, theft, money laundering and baby organ harvesting on the NHS. And even he said they don't get to the root of the problem. He was arrested out of the psychiatric unit, and so was I. After just 4 months, I was dragged in there in handcuffs and arrested out of there. Yes, she couldn't make it up. So despite the fact that the landlady knew this, she decided to do evil. Wanted to help me write a book. I'd never even met the woman before, but do you know what? I really don't care what possessed her, literally what possessed her to do this to me, because people didn't turn up for appointments. She lost a niece to suicide, and she then does the same to me, even though she told me that social services are full of bollocks. And this is an 85-year-old retired matron who worked at the Royal Sussex, whatever, I don't know, hospital, I don't really care. But this John Alexander Patterson would be in his 70s, and as I said, I'd really like to meet Brian Setchfield from Seaford, where I grew up. As he set up Crime Stoppers, and as I said, he was related to the Dauphin, the boy, the son of Marie Antoinette. And he had his DNA and Dangerous Liaisons. Look up that movie. It's a banned movie from the 1950s. It was banned because it is exposing the truth behind what happened to little Louis. His mother was guillotined. And I'll tell you what, my partner is distantly related to the last Earl to be hanged with gold thread. He murdered one of his servants with a pistol. That's on his mother's side, and that's where and his grandfather was a Freemason. And I've learnt something very traumatic, but I can't repeat it. So, I've often wondered if there was actually Freemasonry in my partner's, or who knows, even maybe in my... One never knows. But could that be a reason why... it's like that MK Ultra thing, isn't it? It's like that. This is what we've been talking about. Because even if it wasn't MK Ultra, because MK Ultra apparently it exists in the UK, not just the US. So it, could we be? Well, we're targeted because we are followers of Yahweh. These things that have happened to me and Darren, they only happen. It wouldn't happen to the criminals. We're middle class people speaking the truth. And Yeshua said, if they hate you, remember they hated me first. So we are being persecuted. We are in a spiritual, psychological warfare. And I'm very blessed that, the Hollywood elite ain't going to meet the people that I've met, ain't they? Because they are protected, they are assets. They've got to do what their paymasters tell them to do, or woe betide them. So whether they've been sold into the system or they have a bloodline, they have to do what they're told. I'm speaking the truth. Because that victim of satanic ritual abuse said to me in the psychiatric unit, this South African woman in her late 60s, because there's a lot of it in South Africa, apparently. And she said, I wouldn't have told you if I didn't think you could handle it. And you and your partner will bring people to our Saviour. And she said it was because she had exposed a Freemason that's why she was sectioned at that particular point. A Freemason from Lewis. I don't know under what circumstances. But, with all the darkness they're into, they are the cabal behind it all. But anyway, I need to obviously have personal interaction with my sister. I can only pray. Someone said to me today, you can only pray for your sister. I said, yeah, that's what I'm doing, obviously. But, no, what was I going to say? Something I was going to say. But like I said, with these two ladies here, they aren't going to know everything. They're going to make their own minds up. And I'm being patient. I've had to learn patience. By golly, have I? It's like, one of the ladies, I've heard it all before. If they're not telling you to meditate, if people aren't telling you to meditate or to leave things in the past, there'll be less obvious ways of saying things that are very frustrating. What do you do to relax? And I feel a little bit guilty saying this, but I have to say it. I have to get it off my chest. She said, what do you do to relax? Do you do knitting? Now, the thing that's really frustrating for me is they don't realise what I've been through. They don't realise that when I was in the psychiatric unit, I was buying stuff to and collecting natural things and crafting things. I was paying for out of my own pocket. Sussex Partnership do not provide people with. They did do a session of pottery. Oh, and they took my pottery things that I made. I made very unusual looking flowers that I could have patented. And one of them said, oh, maybe someone took a shine to it and stole it. So I had photographs. I even gifted. I even crafted gifts for my partner's mother that I still haven't given her. I made bags and gifts. I don't know whether he's told her this. He doesn't tell me. This is the thing. I haven't seen his parents all these years. And, they don't understand. I keep being told this. Why was I being abused then? Why was I being assaulted? I was assaulted by patients and staff, bullied, people not turning up for appointments. Several people took their own lives. When I was reported missing in the Herald, and one of these ladies knows who I'm talking about, allegedly, there was a young man who jumped off Beachy Head. He discharged himself when I went AWOL because they weren't helping him, and he jumped where his brother jumped. Now, the other lady that's allegedly threatened someone here, she said suicide is the coward's way out. I said to the other lady, I said, have you ever looked over Beachy Head? It takes bloody guts. Because I said the number of times I could have done it, and I haven't, and I've been mocked. And so, by that particular thug, PC McCarthy. And believe me, I'm not letting it go. I'll be out there on the streets speaking out. They'll be trembling in their boots because they're cowards. Because these Freemasons and the Satanists, their only weapon, as Jeanette Archer said, is your silence. So don't be afraid of these cowards. They're afraid of you. There isn't anything they haven't done. Do I look scared? They've discredited me. They've slandered me. They've done everything the devil does. Steal, kill, destroy, slander, you name it. They've assaulted me. They've even stripped me. No. They're not going to silence me. And I pity them. I don't feel sorry for them. I pity them. So, yes, Monique. Yes. So you said I should have a 1-bedroom flat. Funny that, because that's what Sarah here said. Are you going to do something about it then, Monique? Instead of having me beaten out of my flat, of my brand new SDR flat, as a response to my father's death, and then allowing the thugs to traffic me by dragging me along the pavement and forcing me into Pevensey Road. Guys, look up the UK's worst towns, and it will, on that page, on that website, it will show you Eastbourne. I didn't know, and I'm 42, I used to come here from a neighbouring town, Seaford. I came here in the 80s to go shopping when I was little with my mother. I didn't know, though, until in my latter years, after my mother died, that there were what you call drugs dens in Eastbourne. Yes, apparently a lot of them, these council accommodations, drugs dens, because they protected the ones that were mentioned in the BBC National News. I've got all that criminal evidence. That's why this landlady is now scared, because this landlady knew who Charles Lucas Property Management were. She knew Justin, and the police Eastbourne police watch my YouTube channel, as I said. They look like 12-year-olds, some of them. And you're Bryony. Oh, you do know about my YouTube channel. I find it incredible. Why would anyone want to watch my YouTube channel? Well, I know why, because I'm speaking the truth. But there's nothing flashy about my channel. I haven't got thousands of subscribers. Although, funnily enough, I did get 1.7 thousand views of that police officer who turned up to say that the school teacher doesn't want to write me a note. And yet it was a civil matter when she ignored the police caution from PCEB 411. An actual police warning. It's all on the YouTube channel. So it's there for Judge Harper to see. This woman knew about my YouTube channel. She was going to do the devil's work, and she did. And that's why I've said, if I suicide, that landlady should be done for manslaughter, not just an illegal eviction, and taking my possessions into storage without a court warrant. Yes, all of this has been done to me. Anyway, I'm just going to finish this rant. I want to try and keep it as short as possible. Yeah, it was would you believe it was the executor of my late mother's estate, another one who told me to get over my mother's death. You know, my sister is brain damaged and talking about life expectancy and needing to see a neurosurgeon because she got migraines because she couldn't cope with our mother's death. She's now taking legal action against them to stay in my mother's flat. Well, the executor was telling me that I need to engage with adult social care, who are putting on record that I do not engage, even though they didn't turn up for appointments. I was reported missing in the Herald. I went and slept in a field near my mother's ashes. I was dragged by PC Curtis and another idiot I was dragged in handcuffs backwards through Hyde Gardens. Ray Warren in St. Louis, an Adamant fan who's got his own band, doing much more interesting things than I am. I got him to comment on the Herald thing, the Eastbourne Herald thing, saying, why can't Bryony, I can't remember what it was, I couldn't comment on it or something. But they were saying, how old was I? 38. 38-year-old woman, Bryony, found safe and well. Bryony McCarthy. No, she wasn't. She was dragged backwards in handcuffs, and they were laughing. And there was an old woman at Steamer Trading, which is now closed down, going, go on there. And my partner's friend, Steve Churchill, who works at the food bank, he had to explain things to him because he believed the psychopaths at Sussex Partnership. My partner said his wife, who is now deceased, I wanted to make them a thank you. I never got to meet Steve's wife because they took my things. I gifted a gift. Right, again, I've been crafting gifts. I have actually done things to help myself. I've done way more than anyone would. I have worked so hard. I have never, ever worked so hard. And this is since being on severe disability. Doing care work and getting bullied by the people that I was washing and caring for, being bullied by an elderly matron to the point where I threw up, was nothing compared to going into this Luciferian system, because it is run. Every institution, don't know about anywhere else, but particularly in the UK, has been infiltrated. Every single institution has been infiltrated by the Freemasons, these Luciferians, and people are now waking up. It's all out there. So I've really paid the price, but I can't wait for what is coming next. So on that note, I want to finish with this letter because it's pithy. It's pathetic. I went to the charity tonight to tell them to raise concerns because of what I've mentioned in part 1. But I really had to get that off my chest. I also wanted to say, and I forgot to finish, my partner went to these, was it called Summer Wine or Spring, whatever it's called, the Christian festival at Butlins. It's all Hellenized Christendom anyway, so it's not the teachings of the original proper teachings of Yeshua. It's just Christendom. So, but at that Christian thing at Butlins that I went to, he went to it in the 80s, and he already knew that Freemasonry. I said, how come you already knew? I thought you came on this journey with me when I bought a laptop at the end of 2015, and you and I got together. we knew each other to say hello to, but we became an item. And I thought you. He said no. He saw a talk by someone at Spring at this Christian thing, someone who'd come out of Freemasonry. So that was back in the 80s. So he said the name of this man, and he said I might still have him on cassette tape because I recorded it. So I might look him up. But yeah, no, it's in his family, and he even went up to Scotland because it's on his father's side, just not just his mother's side. His cousins, his father's sister's husband was a Freemason up in Scotland, so that's like Scottish rite. And his friend, who's an atheist, my partner said he looked at him and said, when he said he was a Freemason, you turned blue. So there you go. The spirit behind it is there. But I didn't, this is before Mark Devlin. This is, back in the 80s. So he already knew. I just thought when I worked with a Freemason in the early noughties, I thought it was just like, he said, oh, Masons. But then he was naughty though, because I feel like I encouraged it. There's a thing about me. My mother and I both had this thing. We were actually exposed to and touched up as children on a couple of, once or twice. And we had a weird sense of humour though. We had that resilience because it never went anything worse than that. And you have to laugh a bit, don't you, to get over it. But thankfully, nothing worse than that. But I am funny around men. It's like, why did I give my phone number to Dave Prowse, who played Darth Vader in Star Wars? He outlived my mother, and he was a bit older than her. He'd be in his late 80s. Yeah, but oh gosh, talk about the dark forces. Yeah, I mean, the Illuminati and Star Wars. I think I was just, oh, it's Darth Vader, here, Brian, you can have your number, and I'm strange like that though with people. I've just learned that, speaking of which, I've actually just learned that James Earl Jones has died. He did the voice of Darth Vader. Yeah, this one was like, you're talking like that. We can't have Darth Vader talking like that. Always remember your Green Cross code, because you won't be there when you cross the road. Yeah, But yeah, that's the voice of Darth Vader. The one that I met anyway, and the actual 7-foot elderly man on crutches. I have my claims to fame. Like Ingrid Pitt really paid me a big compliment. And she was in that film that was about satanic sacrifice, The Wicker Man. This is Jeanette Archer stuff. And Ingrid Pitt at the NEC paid me a compliment. I tell you what, my mother wasn't one who was impressed by these things, but even she was impressed. Ingrid Pitt was born about 1 month before my mother. And my mother met a Hollywood actor. Well, she did a scene with Sam Neill. Yeah, my mother did a scene in a movie with a big Hollywood actor. Wimbledon, Sam Neill. Blink and you miss it. Anyway, having my little rant. It's good to say some funny things when you're talking about serious things. You have to. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like The Wicker Man. Looking back on it now, it's like a documentary. It was always like a 1970s gritty documentary. It was almost like watching an actual documentary of, oh, this is paganism, but actually, behind the scenes, we sacrifice people and animals to our pagan. And we would love it if you were a Christian, you know, a virgin Christian police officer, Edward Woodward. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And yet you learn that this stuff, as my partner said, look, it's been going on for years. There are so many children that are being abused now as I speak, and may Abba Yahweh rebuke it all. And I think I find it hard to I just can't. I've listened to what these people have said, and isn't it strange that this victim of satanic ritual abuse, she said to me, I told you because I said to her, in this we're talking about Eastbourne Psychiatric Unit. I said, is it true about the eating of babies? Oh yes. She's South African, but she's got a very, very well spoken English sort of aristocratic, because it's the aristocrats that do these unthinkable horror film stuff. You can't believe that someone could eat a human baby or torture or do anything unthinkable. No. But apparently, anyway. So anyway, moving on. Abba Yahuwah's got this in his hands. I got this letter from St Mary's House, Louise Corp, locum resource officer. It was a locum who said me and my transgender sister need trauma-based therapy, and that was in 2016. This is the same Louise that didn't turn up. Right. Eastbourne Hub sent me to adult social care because they weren't doing the lawful duty. The county court said what the council should be doing and that they have a legal evictions offices, and they didn't. And go to the MP. Well, it's all a waste of time. It's all a waste of time because Monique said that they didn't have any. This is why it's got to go to the solicitor. There's something I can't say about the solicitor, and I'd love to say it because if it wasn't so stressful, it would be really quite funny. But I'm not at that place. This Louise Corp I was told by Monique in a very patronising way, you've got to engage. Because, these people don't turn up for appointments and they put on record that I don't engage. These narcissists, they're all narcissists. Every single one of them. Yes, you are. And I go down to St Mary's House. I miss an appointment for a scan because I've been losing blood. And Monique saw it for herself. In one day, I lost blood 3 times. It went through my clothes. Never ever happened to me before. Think of how mortifying that is for a woman. Because it's not normal at my time of life to, you see what I'm saying? So I missed an appointment for that. That was the day, on the 15th of August, that I didn't. The day before my sister's big birthday. I'm seeing her brain damaged, on crutches, needs help washing and dressing, getting abuse from her carer who knows about my YouTube channel, being sworn at. Your sister's a man. Yeah, because I'm the crazy one. there's something wrong with me because I won't accept my sister as a man. So, so this Louise Corp, we go down there, and when we're told she's away on annual leave and that they don't help homeless people, I said, we've just been sent down here. So my partner put in a complaint about the man behind the desk and the woman. He said how pathetic they were. They didn't do it. Yeah. So we're then walking back to the hub, and my partner is making a complaint to adult social care about this woman. So this same woman, Louise Corp, who wasn't there, who says that I need to engage even though she was away on annual leave when I'd just been sent to her. You couldn't make it up, could you? She sends me a text message saying, "Dear BM," doesn't even bother putting my name, BM. The other day I put "Dear L," L for Louise. Where's the concern about my sister and the abuse I got from her carer? Can you please keep to the rules of this hellhole? Because let's face it, they're all hellholes, even if they aren't hellholes. They're just prisons. And it was my partner's got to put in a complaint about that text message. He was the one who bought me bedding and cleaned the shower and the fridge. You think this is all just a little bit weird? Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Then I'm going from one situation to the next, and to the next, and to the next, which is why I really can't wait to upload this, because I want to listen to a video on the growing, I'll say in a minute, it's to do with narcissism, and it's made by a very good, I've got very good people in my list that I listen to, the big names, the Rise channel, who does everything from a Christian perspective and exposes everything. He's even been targeted by Bohemian Grove because he showed a video of someone else getting into Bohemian Grove. And he's exposing everything. And he's literally, I got a notification a few hours ago to say a video on the growing problem with narcissism, and it's this illness that's, even when it's covert, it's all around me. I can't escape them. So this letter: Dear Bryony, I hope you are well. I had a meeting with housing last week, and I agreed to contact BHT to see if they could assist you. Isn't that funny? Because BHT have washed their hands of me, because they have said, not me, they have said that I don't trust them. I wonder why. Could it be because Lorraine Blackwell said in a tearful state, under the thumb, that vile creature that was going around mugging the elderly, that they had to protect her because the council told them she had to, and then, yes, released from prison because they had been mugging the elderly on the Isle of Wight, only to do the same thing in sunny Eastbourne. Yes, because, as Monique Prescott said, we've got to feel sorry for those vile, demented, degenerate, evil criminals that mug the elderly to fund their drug habit. We've got to feel sorry for them because they've got special issues. But my issues are too complex. Yes, because losing your father losing a parent is apparently too complex for the staff trained to deal with complex issues at SDR Living, which is why they had to bring in the Stasi to beat me out of my flat of just 4 months, and the care coordinator was sacked. Yeah. The Illuminati is in Eastbourne. There's a Freemason lodge in this town. Yes. I wish I knew the name of the man that works at the library who said to me the Illuminati is in Eastbourne. Too damn right. We all know it, but some of us are not too afraid to say it. This is the same Brighton Housing Trust, BHT, that were going to help me make a counterclaim against this evil landlady that District Judge Harper said he'd put in prison. But she hasn't been put in prison because she went abroad until the 4th of September. On the 8th of August, he said to her, I could put you in prison right now. Well, why didn't he? Why indeed? That's what I'm going to find out. So, because he was telling me what the council should be doing and they didn't. Neither did Louise Cork. I would also like to offer you a social care assessment. If this is something you wish to... Oh, she's even very kindly given me the number for BHT. They've asked me that I contact them for a self-referral. Well, won't that be interesting? Because Dan Saxby said I don't trust them. Maybe he knows about my YouTube channel, because Dan Saxby said some years ago that I should contact the local government and social care ombudsman for compensation because, quote, a lot of homeless people are being unlawfully detained in police cells. Did the local government and social care ombudsman give me compensation? No. They went through the whole rigmarole of a load of bureaucratic bullshit. So I added to the 100% of bad reviews on Trustpilot. The same with the GMC, the General Medical Council, a doctor's review, warned the public. Go and have a look on Trustpilot if you don't believe me. I would like to offer you a social care assessment. If this is something you wish to complete, please contact me at your earliest convenience to make an appointment. Please quote reference toilet paper. Won't be bum with it. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to end on that note. Dear L from BM, as you like to refer to me as. You couldn't make it up, could you? Yes, I'm the mad person. I'm the mad person who needs to accept my sister. Do you know what? The Samaritans, a woman at the Samaritans said to me a few years ago, I said, I feel like a child. Because you know what? I genuinely identify. I identify as a child. But did I have a problem with a woman at the Samaritans saying to me, but you're not a child? No, because she's bloody right. I might feel like a child. I'm not a child, and I will never be a child again. It's the same with my sister. She can never, ever, ever make herself a man. And she's deluding herself if she thinks that she can identify as one. We look different, but in here, our problems are not too dissimilar. I have disassociated. I have struggled. I have struggled with suicidal feelings, feeling unworthy. I too, I used to think that there was something wrong with me because I was hairy. They used to call me first the worst, second the best, third the one with the hairy chest, which is when I was 5 years old. Oh, Bryony's all hairy, look. So I used to remember when the movie Bigfoot came out? I thought that's what I looked like, a big hairy yeti. And yet my sister didn't like being hairy because she too had a problem. My mother told me she used to cover her arms like me in the playground. So why has she taken stuff that gives her a beard and hairy arms? Because of the Tavistock Institute, of these Satanists, these psychopaths. They are psychopaths. Which is why they have been sued by parents for doing these disgusting things to children's bodies, to change their genders, to psychologically, because this is what they do. This is what Convid was about. These people are human behavioural, not therapists. It's like MK Ultra. Mind control. They want to get into people. They want to study the reaction, human behaviour. And once people have woken up, and they're cottoning on. That's why their days are numbered. Their days are numbered. I'm just so glad, so thankful that I failed my GCSEs and the whole education system. I knew it was all bollocks. I mean, do you remember that PTS? What was PS? Personal Social Education. I mean, a police officer came into our school and said, "This is a knuckle duster and this is a knife." And he showed it in a bag that someone at Tideway. I mean, my eldest sister, she was grammar school, Buckinghamshire. She went from that to Fishwife in New Haven. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but she's not watching my YouTube anyway.